Hello learners, this is Habiba with a new topic from Learning and Learning Process. UGC NET Paper 2 Education, Unit 3 Learning and Learning Processes with the subtopic Growth and Development. Now let's understand today's topic, that is cognitive processes. What is cognitive? Cognitive is the thinking process or thought process. Let's understand in detail what is cognition. Cognition is a term referring to the mental processes involved in gaining knowledge and comprehension. Whatever our brain includes the processes of thinking, that is called cognition. These cognition processes include thinking, knowing, remembering, judging, and problem solving. These are higher level functions of the brain and encompass language, imagination, perception, and planning. For example, in infancy, this higher level is not necessary, because in infancy, the child or the infant learns through seeing just by touch and feel. But this brain, when functions with higher level cognition, that is language develops, imagination, perception, and planning, everything will develop. Now, cognitive psychology. What is cognitive psychology? Cognitive is thought. Psychology is the study of behavior. It is the field of psychology that investigates how people think and the processes involved in cognition. There are a number of types of cognition processes, which include number one, attention. A cognition process that allows people to focus on a specific stimulus in the environment. For example, something provokes us to take attention towards that particular incident. That means when we are taking attention towards any particular incident, immediately our thought process starts working. So that is one type of cognitive process. Now next one is language. Language and language development are cognitive processes that involve the ability to understand and express thoughts through spoken and written words. For example, few people are very good in their communicative ability. Through their communication, they will express their thoughts. That means, for example, the media persons or the political leaders or any entertainment field, they express their thoughts through their words and also their actions. Now, some people cannot express through words, they will express through their writing. For example, the writers, the poets, etc. So it allows us to communicate with others and plays an important role in the thought. The next one is learning. It's a very, very important process. This learning is lifelong. It requires cognitive process involved in taking new things, synthesizing information. Synthesizing information means creating new ideas, new things, and integrating it with prior knowledge. That means whatever knowledge we have before, we are connecting with new knowledge. That is learning. That is a cognitive process. Next one is memory. An important cognitive process that allows people to encode, store, and retrieve information. It is a critical component in the learning process and allows people to retain knowledge about the world and their personal histories. For example, our grandparents remember so many incidents and they narrate stories to us. That is because of the memory. That is the cognitive process which is developed in them. So the next one is perception. A cognitive process that allows people to take in information through their senses. That means feel, touch, and through their watching, maybe through their whatever they feel, they express. And then utilize this information to respond and interact with the whole world. If they have some perception, they will interact that knowledge or perception with others. One person might have one perception of seeing a thing, another might have the another perception. So individual differences are there. Each individual has their own perceptions. The next one is thought. An essential part of every cognitive process. It allows people to engage in decision making, problem solving, and higher reasoning. The thought is very, very important. So because of the thought only, they can develop, I can do it, this task, or I cannot do it. but it's a very, very important thing to develop in each and every individual. That is the habit of I can do it. Delete T from it. I cannot do it should not be there. I can do it. Yes, we can. That is the thought process which will take to good decision making, problem solving, and higher reasoning power also. Then now let's see the uses of this cognitive process affect every aspect of life, from school to work to relationships. Some specific uses for these cognitive processes include the following. First one is learning new things. Learning requires being able to take in new information. That is, we will not stick to the same information. What happens is, whatever prior knowledge is there, we will add upon new things, form new memories, and make connections with other things that you already know. Researchers and educators use their knowledge of these cognitive processes to help create instructive materials to help people learn new concepts. So this habit of learning new things, because of which we are in this technical world, modernity, computer world. So because of this learning new thing habit only, we are moving ahead with the technical world. Now, forming memories. Memory is a major topic of interest in the field of cognitive psychology. How we can remember, what we remember, and what we forget reveal a great deal about how the cognitive process operates. That means this is the way, whatever the memories we are forming inside us, that is the cognitive process which is very useful to us. While people often think of memory as being much like a video camera. For example, video camera, whatever we record, it will remain forever. We can watch it again and again. Same way, whatever thoughts we have in previously, we will keep in their memories and we recall them when it was asked for. Carefully and recording and cataloging life events and storing them away for later recall. Research has found that memory is much more complex. For example, when we go for excursion, we see so many sceneries, scenic beauty that will be in their memories for long time. Then making decisions. Whenever people make any type of decision, it involves making judgments about things they have processed. It might involve comparing new information to prior knowledge, integrating new information into existing ideas, or even replacing old knowledge with new knowledge before making a choice. For example, a child was told that an animal has 4 legs. Then whenever that child sees any animal, he feels that this is animal, names are not known. Then slowly when he is told about this is a cow, this is a cat, different animals, differentiation will come in their memory and they will think that all the animals are not, which has 4 legs, are not same animals, they have different names. And another example is for decision making for 10th pass out students. It's very important for them to which stream they will take so that their future profession will enhance. That decision making also comes from the thought process, cognitive process, which is good, which is bad. That is a thought process which is very important. Now let's understand the impact of cognition. The cognitive process have a wide ranging impact that influences everything from daily life to overall health. So perceiving the world. As you take in sensations from the world around you, the information that you see, hear, taste, touch and smell must first be transformed into signals that your brain can understand. The perceptual process allows you to take in sensory information and convert it into a signal that your brain can understand and act upon it. So perceiving, the perception is again different from each individual. One individual might take one perception, for the same task another perception will be there for another individual. So perceiving the world is also a very important impact of cognitive process. Now comes the forming impressions. The world is full of an endless amount of sensory experiences. To make meaning out of all this incoming information, it is important for your brain to be able to reduce your experiences of the world down to the fundamentals. You remember everything. So events are reduced down to the critical concepts and ideas that you need, whichever are useful for you. Those things will be forming impressions in your mind and brain. Now, filling the gaps. In addition to reducing information to make it more memorable and understandable, people also elaborate on these memories as they reconstruct them. In some cases, this elaboration happens when people are struggling to remember something. When the information cannot be recalled, the brain sometimes fills in the missing data with whatever sees to fit in. For example, if I am narrating a story, if I forget one bit of that story, I will not stop at that moment. I will fit in something into that story and then I will continue with that story. So that is filling in the gaps is a very, very important thought process which will have long lasting impact. Next one is interacting with the world. Cognition involves not only the things that go on inside our head, but also how these thoughts and mental processes influence our actions. Our actions to the world around us, memories of past events, understanding of language, judgments about how the world works, and abilities to solve problems all contribute how we behave and interact with our surrounding environment, which is very, very important. From the birth of the child, interaction begins. Slowly learns how to mingle with other people, then enter into the society and interacting with the whole world. This is the cognitive process. Now we understood about the cognitive process, but what is the history of the study of cognition? Let's understand now. The study of how we think dates back to the time of the ancient Greek philosophers, great Plato and Aristotle. Now, philosophical origins. What is philosophy? Philosophy is love for wisdom, love for knowledge. How these persons, for the love of wisdom and knowledge, they brought so many concepts for us, which we are learning today. Plato's approach to the study of the mind suggested that people understand the world by first identifying basic principles buried deep inside themselves and then using rational thought to create knowledge. This viewpoint was later advocated by philosophers such as René Descartes and linguistic Noam Chomsky. This approach to cognition is often referred to as rationalism. Now, Aristotle, on the other hand, believed that people acquire their knowledge through their observations of the world around them. Later thinkers, including John Locke and B.F. Skinner, also advocated this point of view, which is often referred to as empiricism. John Locke told that a child's mind is a blank slate. Whatever we fill into their brain, that is the knowledge. And then Skinner is a behaviorist. He studied about the study of behavior through which our thought process begins. Next, the emergence of cognitive psychology. One of the earliest definitions of cognition was presented in the first textbook on cognitive psychology published in the year 1967. According to Neisser, cognition is those processes by which the sensory input is transformed, reduced, elaborated, stored, recovered and used. An excellent definition given by Neisser, that is whatever input we are giving to our sensory motors, that is transformed, sometimes it is reduced, sometimes it is elaborated, sometimes it is memorized or stored, sometimes recovered, and sometimes the thought will be used wherever it is important. Now let's conclude this topic. Cognitive processes are influenced by a range of factors including genetics and experiences. While you cannot change your genetics, there are things that you can do to protect and maximize your cognitive abilities. Let's understand what are all those things. Number one, stay healthy. Lifestyle factors such as eating healthy and getting regular exercise can have an effect on your cognitive function. If we stay healthy, we will think healthy and we will work also in a healthy manner, which will lead to the success. Now think critically. Critically means we have to think positively and negatively both. Question your assumption and ask questions about your thoughts, beliefs and conclusions. That is very important. Whatever we are doing, we have to review ourselves. That is critical review. Whether it is positive, whether it is negative, we have to question ourselves, our beliefs, our thoughts. Now stay curious and keep learning. This is very, very important for any successful person. If you don't have any curiosity in life, we will not lead to any goal or we will not reach to any goal. So one great way to flex your cognitive abilities is to keep challenging yourself to learn more about the world. Next one is skip multitasking. That means we should never ever adopt so many tasks at one time. We can do so many tasks, but not at one time. While it might seem like doing several things at once would help you get done faster, research has shown it actually decreases both productivity and work quality. So work quality will be decreased. So one task at a time. That is very, very important. Now let's evaluate ourselves with one or two questions here. Number one, cognition is a option A, communication ability, option B, physical activity, option C, motor skill, option D, mental process. Answer is option D, that is mental process. Obviously that is a thought process. Now question number two, cognitive processes include option A, speaking, knowing, remembering, judging and problem solving. Option B, walking, knowing, remembering, judging and problem solving. Option C, thinking, knowing, remembering, judging and problem solving. Option D, thinking, seeing, remembering, judging and problem solving. The answer is option C, that is thinking, knowing, remembering, judging and problem solving. Question number three, language development is a option A, emotional process, option B, cognitive process, option C, psychological process, option D, physical process. Answer is option B, that is cognitive process. So we come to the end of this topic. Hope you have learned new things. Thanks for your attention time. Happy learning. Until we meet in the next video, please do like, share, subscribe and comment below.